Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Hold My Nuggets Studios. And finally, the National Basketball Association has granted us their postseason. We've been waiting all goddamn quarantine, and we finally get what we want and what we truly deserve. Live from the NBA bubble, aka Squirtle's first water Pokemon move. And we kick off day one, game one of round one with the Utah Jazz taking on the Denver Nuggets in your 2020 NBA playoffs game highlight commentary. We into the second quarter, and Donovan Mitchell simply cannot be detained. This man's rubbing his nutsack all over the Denver Nuggets. He was the first NBA player to be diagnosed with COVID, and he's taking out all his frustration on the damn Denver Nuggets. Rumor has it he's dodging defenders the same way he's dodging Rudy Gobert's attempts for a handshake. This man simply could not be guarded. Whether it was a pull-up jumper, whether it was a step-back three, it did not matter. He was firing on all cylinders. But his opposition was no slouch either, because Jamal Murray had the Utah Jazz defenders shaking like an app on an iPhone getting ready to get deleted. Two-time Defensive Player of the Year. No problem, pussy! Before he got into a relationship, there's no doubting he was a philanderer, because he's scoring at will. And don't forget, Paul Millsap is still on the court now. Joe Ingles is the most deceptive basketball player on the planet. This man looked like a substitute teacher, but will cook you on the court. We into the second half, and here come the Jazz like it's midnight on Bourbon Street during Mardi Gras. That's how the white man shoots the basketball. Donovan Mitchell is scoring so often, the statistician got carpal tunnel. Every single minute, this man is finding his way to the basket and putting the ball into the hoop. One has to wonder if Denver even considered trying to guard him. Back the other way, we got some international baskets from Jokic. Never forget Cardi B's a hoe, let me see that finger roll. We into the fourth quarter, and Utah's trying to take their lead and run away with it. You know you're having a great game when you run into defense and still find a way to score. But after taking a 4-point lead, looks like Utah got caught in some sort of genjutsu, because they'd give away back-to-back threes in the exact same spot. And then Jokic would give them the lead inside. But Donovan Mitchell would say that lead belongs to me. Nikola Jokic would say right back at you, pussy. Man, Rudy Gobert ain't been the same since he touched all them goddamn microphones. But the COVID connection would come together and Utah would regain the lead. Jamal Murray need to be selling feet pics on OnlyFans if his footwork is this good. But once again, Donovan Mitchell would showcase his stroke game, give Utah the lead, and then he'd put them up by 4. Then Jamal Murray would say, "Give me your ankles," and respond with a 3 of his own. The step back had Joe Ingles looking for his hairline. We got a tie game. Joe Ingles getting cooked like kosher cuisine in a Jewish household. This is ridiculous. Denver takes the lead. But I am my brother's keeper. Donovan Mitchell gets Murray right back. Both teams exchange free throws and an opportunity to win the game for Jokic. He puts it up against Gobert.
It's no good. I can't do it.
And we're headed to overtime. We into overtime, and Joe Ingles is more lost than someone who's a member of the Church of Scientology. Evidently, nobody told Utah the game continues after regulation, because Denver got whatever they wanted in the extra period. They must have had a bad Wi-Fi connection, because they did not show up at all in overtime. And whose bright idea was it to keep Joe Ingles on Jamal Murray? This man's still getting cooked. 49 seconds remaining, and that's game. Denver takes game one over Utah, despite the fact that Donovan Mitchell scored 57 points.
I am having a very bad day. I am in no mood.
We move on to the second game, where the reigning defending undisputed NBA champion Toronto Raptors take on the Brooklyn Nets. And early on, Toronto's getting whatever the hell they want, because Brooklyn cannot seem to guard them at all. The Raptors were scoring so easily, it's grounds for slut shaming. Brooklyn came out the gate looking like they had no business being in the postseason. They were scoring inside, they were scoring outside. It's like getting your ass whipped in a boxing match with Mike Tyson. There was nothing they could do. And don't even get me started on the three-pointers. The Raptors were making it rain from deep all first half. Somewhere I read, death comes in threes. This was not the way I anticipated. Brooklyn would go down as much as 30, but in the second half, they would start to try to take their receipt to the sperm bank and get their comeback. And Toronto sat back and allowed it to happen because they take their foot off the gas, and what was once a 30-point lead is now inside 10 points. But in the fourth quarter, Toronto remembered they are an NBA champion and decided to play for real. Even when they miss, they score. Beyblade, let it rip!
Come here, bitch.
It's like they were toying with Brooklyn all damn game. They'd run away with the lead and they'd put it away and win by 24 points. On to Game 3 rematch of the 2018 Eastern Conference semifinals as the Boston Celtics take on the Philadelphia 76ers. The game would start out with a back and forth. Jaylen Brown would connect on a 3 and then Kemba Walker would walk his way into the paint and lay it up home and give Boston a 3-point lead. But back the other way, the international baskets would work in the 76ers' favor because Joel Embiid simply could not be stopped, manhandling Jaylen Brown in the paint. And who the hell let Embiid big ass connect on step back threes? Then in the second quarter, Jason Tatum would plug in his controller and go to work. He'd connect on a 3, lay it up home inside, connect on another 3, activate Deja Vu and go to the paint and score 10 of his team's next 14 points. But Kemba Walker wouldn't stay silent and he'd find his way to get back on the board because he says, I was an all-star first, pussy, this my team. Either I'm a hater or I just don't understand style, because what is with the mismatched shoes? I don't understand this trend. Think fast, behind the back, who are you guarding? In your face. Tatum with the hot hand puts up a 3. We into the second half and Jason Tatum got Philly defenders dancing, puts it high up off the glass, and then later in the quarter he does it to Josh Richardson too and puts it off the glass. But back the other way, here comes
Tobias.
Down by 10, Philly tries a 3. Offensive rebound and score by
Tobias.
Joel Embiid backpedaling with the basketball like a woman who knows she wrong but refuses to admit the man is right. And this is how the white man shoots the basketball. Shake Milton would try another 3. But his teammate bails him out again. Momentum now on Philly's side. Josh Richardson connects on a 3. Then Al Horford would tie up the game. And then a possession later, with them up by 2, he'd play taps with himself and give him a 4-point lead. Can we just take some time to acknowledge the disrespect by Boston's defense? They left Embiid wide open. You could lay down 3 different Embiids and he would have still had space to shoot. But Jaylen Brown would say, right back at you, pussy, and cut the deficit to 3. And then a few minutes later, he'd tie up the game. That's how the white man lays up the basketball. Then Kemba Walker would step back and put the Boston lead to 5.
Where do you think you're going?
You want another one? Come at me, bro.
Get that shit out of here. Multicolored shoes, Poppy. Jaylen Brown connects on a 3. The lead is 8.
Tobias.
Josh Richardson would connect on a 3, but it was not enough to get Boston to relinquish the lead, as Joel Embiid's final attempt would miss and Boston would walk away with a Game 1 victory. And on our final game of the day, the Mavericks take on the Clippers. God damn, game just started. Patrick Beverley already got a steal? This man is a thief. And Dallas would lose the basketball again. God damn. Are they the LA Clippers or the LA Kleptomaniacs? It's ridiculous. Paul, I Like My Movies, rated PG-13, connects on a 3, and then on the very next possession, the Clippers started this game with an 18-2 run, but then Dallas would activate their immigration international baskets because Luka Doncic would put in a floater, and then a few possessions later, KP6 puts in a 3. Did you think I was finished? A jumper for your bitch ass. And you can't forget about Seth Curry. And just like that, Dallas tied up the game.
Nani?
But to end the first quarter, Luka would connect on a 3 and Dallas goes up by 4. Mr. I change teams until I make it to an NBA Finals. Paul George connects on a floater. Luka would respond with a floater of his own. Isn't it weird Seth is the only Curry in the playoffs? Terminator Kawhi looking to take over, but his computer never programmed him to watch out for that banana. But LA's two-headed monster refuses to let the Clippers fall out of the game. Luka really scores so effortlessly. This makes no sense. How about some wings and strippers during quarantine? Lou Williams pulls up for 3. We into the second half and Luka Doncic is still rubbing his nutsack all over the Los Angeles Clippers. They cannot seem to stop him. We get an early whistle, but one of the Morris twins refuses to let Luka go, and we're gonna have a verbal altercation. Here comes KP6, and both teams would exchange in light shoves like third graders, but for some apparent reason this results in a double technical foul, and the referees say, well, KP6 already got one. Fuck him! Get him out the game! Doc Rivers says, yes, send him to the locker room. Looks like Luka's gonna have to do it without his number 2. 1-point lead for Dallas, but a quick response from PG-13 would connect on a 3 of his own. Lou Williams would put in a floater and 1. Then Montrezl Harrell would activate his dreadlock powers for the score. Dallas would miraculously find a way to keep things tied and close, but then the Clippers would begin to pull away as Kawhi would find his way into the paint. Luka would do everything in his power to try to keep things close, but it was a little too late. Because you know the game is pretty much over when Patrick Beverley is scoring in the paint. And then he'd connect on a wide open three. One half of the Morris twins would connect on a three, then reverse his number, and PG-13 would connect on a three of his own. The game was out of reach, and Dallas is going down as the Clippers take game one. For the Utah Jazz, Brooklyn Nets, Philadelphia 76ers, and Dallas Mavericks, take out your Metro cards and get aboard the L train.